Iran-Israel tensions are nothing new. But this time, the matter is not limited to threats. According to Western media, Iran has taken such a step that the risk of World War III is now higher than at any time in the past. That is, Israel has attacked Iran. There is no doubt about it. Iran should also have tolerated Israeli attacks like Gaza, Lebanon, and Syria. But Iran did not stop, even after suffering heavy losses. It is continuing to retaliate against Israel one after another. How Iran retaliated against Israel will be discussed in this episode of FactGenie. If you are new to FactGenie, please subscribe and click on the bell icon. Last Friday morning, Israel launched an unprecedented military operation called Rising Lion. Agents of the Israeli intelligence agency Mossad directly participated in this attack on Iran. They first disabled Iranian radar stations with drones, allowing Israeli warplanes to easily enter Iranian airspace. Then, Israeli aircraft bombed various Iranian nuclear facilities, military bases, air defense bases, and high-ranking military officials with precision. One of the goals of this operation was to kill Iran's army chief, Major General Mohammad Bagheri, and the head of the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps, Hossein Salami. The scale of the Israeli attack was so terrible that Tehran was the victim of such an attack during the last Iran-Iraq War. More than 400 people were killed in this attack in Iran. Among them were 14 nuclear scientists and top intelligence officers. Iran did not remain silent in response to Israel's Rising Lion attack. Iran has launched another counter-retaliatory operation called Operation True Promise 3. Iran has fired more than 355 ballistic and hypersonic missiles at Israel, claiming the right to self-defense under international law. Many of them directly hit important Israeli cities, including Tel Aviv and Haifa. One missile fell very close to an Israeli Defense Force base. In total, Iran's counterattacks have damaged many Israeli cities, ports, residential buildings, markets, and an oil refinery. In addition, 5 people were injured and 24 Israeli citizens were killed. As a result, Israeli citizens were forced to spend the night in bunkers on a large scale for the first time. Although Israel's Iron Dome defense system is capable of intercepting many missiles, Iran's coordinated missile and drone attacks have put this system under pressure. Iran claims that its new tactics have largely overcome Israel's air defense system. Iran's response has surprised Israel. If Iran had retaliated with drones and missiles twice last time, this time it has taken a completely different scale. The scale of Iran's retaliation has taken the form of a full-scale war. Israel has been claiming for more than 30 years that Iran is on the verge of developing nuclear weapons. But when Iran began secretly enriching uranium in 2002, concerns about the issue began in the international arena. In view of this, in 2003, Iran's supreme leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei issued a fatwa against nuclear weapons. In that fatwa, he said that the production, storage, and use of nuclear weapons are forbidden in the eyes of Islamic Sharia. Through this fatwa, Iran wanted to convey that its nuclear program will be used only for peaceful purposes. But Western experts believe that Khamenei's announcement is just a political ploy. That is why the West continues to impose strict economic sanctions on Iran on charges of developing nuclear weapons. Since then, Iran's economy has been in dire straits. To address this problem, in 2015, Iran signed an agreement with 6 world powers, including the United States, the United Kingdom, France, Russia, China, and Germany, officially known as the Joint Comprehensive Plan of Action, or Iran Nuclear Deal. Under the agreement, Iran limited its uranium enrichment and granted access to international inspectors. In exchange, sanctions imposed on Iran were eased, which brought relief to its economy. Despite the historic nuclear deal of 2015, the Trump administration unilaterally terminated the deal in 2018. As a result, Iran resumed its nuclear activities. A recent investigation by the International Atomic Energy Agency has revealed that uranium enrichment is underway in at least 3 secret sites in Iran. Currently, Iran has achieved a 60% uranium enrichment capacity. A nuclear bomb requires a 90% capacity. But in reality, even getting from 0 to 60% is a huge challenge, and it doesn't take long to get from 60% to 90%. In other words, Iran may actually be close to building a nuclear bomb. This is the first time Israel has killed Iran's top scientists through a direct military strike. Israel has killed scientists in the past, but they have been by bombing or using other spy methods. But this time, Israel has become so aggressive that they have not hesitated to kill scientists by dropping bombs from warplanes. The Western media suddenly started crying over the counterattack on Israel. But over the past 20 months, 15,000 children in Gaza. There has been no international reaction to the death of more than 55,000 people. The leaders of many countries, from the United States to the United Kingdom, have even made statements that are tantamount to declaring war on the 24 Israelis killed. In this situation, the question arises, is the value of life for the West only for Israeli citizens? If a bomb falls on a refugee camp in Gaza, is it unfortunate? And if a missile falls on Tel Aviv, is it the destruction of world humanity? This war has clearly shown how biased the so-called neutrality of the Western media actually is. According to research, the death of an Israeli receives 33 times more coverage in the Western media than the death of a Palestinian. Even media houses like the BBC share this bias. Their reports do not show any images of the suffering of the Palestinians, the crying of children, the destroyed hospitals or homes. In contrast to the 24 Israeli deaths, the death of 400 Iranians does not receive much coverage in the Western media. Before this, Iran had agreed to stop its nuclear program several times. It even signed a nuclear deal. But the Trump administration unilaterally broke that agreement. Then, when the negotiations for a new agreement were making progress, Israel unexpectedly attacked. Now, they are saying, we want peace again. But after bombing Gaza, Lebanon, and Syria, the question remains as to how reasonable it is to ask for peace. Israel says that they will not stop until Iran's nuclear threat is completely eliminated. Iran says that they are ready to respond to Israel as a right of self-defense. As a result, the world is once again facing an uncertain war. In truth, until the world works together to stop Israeli terrorism, there will be no peace in the entire world. The State of Israel was born through an unjust resolution of the United Nations. Therefore, the United Nations will never work to suppress Israel. If you want to know why Israel is an illegitimate state, you can watch this video from the FactGenie channel. Don't forget to subscribe to the FactGenie channel to get such important and in-depth analysis. Share your opinions and questions in the comments. Click the bell icon to get notified as soon as our next video is uploaded. Thank you.